everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ask a Professional. My name is Ryan Abramski, and I am the Business Development Director for EasyLiving. We're a home care and care management agency serving the Tampa Bay area for over 20 years. This week, our special guest is attorney Sean Scott from the law office of Sean Scott. How are you doing today, Sean?
Really good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. So, Sean, tell us a little about yourself and your practice.
I guess about 29 years ago, I was just graduated from Stetson Law School and decided I wanted to go out and create my own law firm. Looked for a kind of a mission, so to speak, and discovered that there were a lot of older people in Pinellas County that were not really, I know it's kind of a joke, there's a ton of them here, but we're not really being adequately served from the legal perspective. They have unique legal issues that people that are younger don't have. They have incapacity issues. They obviously have mortality issues. What do they do with their estate? And a really, really big hole that was present was how do you pay for the cost of care once you get into an assisted living or a nursing home? When I was in law school, I didn't even know this problem existed. I kind of graduated, went out into this world and discovered that there's a lot of people that are spending $10,000, $12,000 a month to pay for the cost of care inside of a nursing facility. That's a lot of money. And there are ways of avoiding that issue, protecting and preserving that person's life savings and still getting the care that they needed. And there was a legal way to do that through the law. I was like, well, that sounds like a really good thing to do. So a really service and a really good thing that really not a lot of people are doing. And 29 years ago, I started this, and one of the best decisions I ever made, because I get to help people every day change their lives fundamentally for the better and avoid a huge financial catastrophe. So.
Absolutely. So what are some of your challenges that you guys have been dealing with due to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh, I tell you, when COVID hit us back in March, it was frightening across the board for all of us, I would imagine. And running our firm, it was dramatic. We went from probably 6 or 7 clients a day down to maybe 5 a week. That's a dramatic change. I think at that point in time, everybody was just really, and rightfully so, kind of really concerned and freaked out about this whole coronavirus and COVID-19 thing. And that had an immediate effect on us. And but across the board too, I mean, even the nursing homes at that point in time were a little bit, well, they still are. Actually, some of them had actually stopped taking any new patients or any new residents. Everything was locked down and frozen. Clients didn't know what to do, so we immediately implemented safety precautions and protocols in the office. I talked about filtration down to the microscopic level, so we could at least do something to keep the air inside of the office clean. Masks, sanitization. Half the chairs in my office are now gone because of social distancing.
Absolutely.
We have tape on the carpet 6 feet away from all of the desks and everything in order to, encourage people to, maintain that social distance, to do everything we can to mitigate the risk. And as things became a little bit more, we learned a little bit more about what was happening and how this thing worked a little bit, and people got a little bit more relaxed. We're kind of back to where we were pre-COVID as far as our schedule is concerned, which is good. But every day in every case, COVID-19 affects my clients. When we're planning for care, when we're planning for public benefits, the type of investments you have, how are you going to plan? When are you going to plan? All manners of crazy things. Just this IRA thing, for example, in the CARES Act, you don't have to take an RMD this year. Well, that's a big deal for my clients, and some of them had already taken an RMD, but they didn't know you could put it back. And maybe we should not do this planning because we don't have to take the RMD this year. So COVID has affected us legally in ways that we had no way of foreseeing. Personally, obviously, all of my staff are very, very concerned. They're all masked up every day, which is good and appropriate.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's changed everything, actually. I can't say for the better. It definitely has had affect us.
Absolutely. If my memory serves me correctly, I think your website was virtuallawoffices.com. I think you guys had that.
Just one office. one. You don't need to get one virtual law. So.
Yeah, but I think you guys had that before the pandemic hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? The whole world of virtualization. I tell you, the idea of Zoom and Messenger and FaceTime have really, we did that already prior to COVID. And now, I have deployed Facebook portals throughout the community. I have at least 3 client conferences a day using Zoom. So it's really crazy. And who knew that back in 1990, when I started my webpage, thinking, well, a virtual law office sounds really cool. And then it would be so prophetic now.
Yeah, it's ahead of the curve there.
No kidding. A little, not in a good way, but interesting for sure. We also have a second URL for that virtual law office. That tended to be a lot of words in one's mouth. So we've also have a mirror or simplified one, which is pretty cool and very, very easy to remember. flmedicaid.com.
There you go.
Easy one.
Absolutely.
More to what we're actually doing now as far as the practice is concerned. So, and it's shorter and easier to remember. So,
absolutely. So, when should people start thinking about contacting another law attorney or Medicaid planning attorney? When is a good time to start thinking about something like that?
Of all the questions that I get asked by my clients or when I'm speaking in the community, that is the best question actually.
Yeah.
The how to do things, the what to do. Those are pretty easy, and from my perspective, they're kind of just mechanics almost in a way. Whereas the when to do things is the big question. And here's the answer to that. It's so dependent on your particular situation. Generally, people, though, will fall into one of 3 different categories. And it has to do with psychology and personality. Some people are this ultimate or uber planners. They have a plan for everything. Their personality, I kind of jokingly say they know what they're going to have for breakfast next month. And have the menu planned out. They have the shopping list by aisle at Publix, all written down, because that's just the way they are. And your initial reaction is, how do you do that? And then their reaction back is, well, how do you not do that? So their planning is very, very important for them, even though they don't have an immediate need or even an inkling of a need. On the other side of the spectrum is what we call our uh-oh clients. Now, an uh-oh client is a client that basically finds themselves in the nursing home or their loved one in a nursing home. They just got a $12,000 a month bill in the mail, and they're sitting there looking at it, and they go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to do $12,000 every month for the next multiple years? That's, they're pretty scared at that point, which they should be, obviously. So I see uh-oh clients, and that's a personality and kind of a psychology that kind of waits to do something until it's actually, as I say, kicking them in the behind.
Yes.
So, and some of us are like that. That's okay. It's not a problem until it's a problem. And then there's this middle group in between the 2 poles, from Uber planner to I ain't going to do nothing until it's kicking me in the behind, to kind of this middle group, which I call writing on the wall clients. Now, what a writing on the wall, I got a nice wall back here. It's writing on the wall. The writing on the wall is a metaphor for you have some notice that this problem is coming. You have something, that's telling you, hey, look, this thing's manifesting in your life. And a good example of that would be, let's say, a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. So you went to your doctor, and your memory thing is, well, it's not just a little forgetfulness, it's the beginning stages of Alzheimer's, and we're going to put you on some medication and start treating you. Well, Alzheimer's has a very predictive path as far as where it's going to take you and what it's going to do to your ability to take care of yourself. Okay, so we know this train's coming. So since that writing is on the wall, since we have that advanced knowledge, it's a really, really good time to get in front of this problem as far as solving it and trying to solve it from behind. So that's the answer to when. What's your situation? What's going on? What's your personality like? Generally speaking, if I had to say, coming to see us to do this kind of planning sooner is better than later, because you have more options and we can provide more benefit to the client of removing this kind of anxiety of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And as I say to my clients, there's so many things that you can't control in this world of, having these kinds of diseases. What I do and what we do in our office is we give you control back, at least over some small part of this problem. And
Absolutely.
It's the financial side, which is really not that small of an issue. So
yeah. Well, Sean, I appreciate your time and all the insight and really explaining everything like that. And I'm sure everyone else does appreciate that. So for all you out there, if you have any questions for Sean or his office, we'll put their contact information below. You can also post a question in the comment section, or you can send us a message right on Facebook, and we'll make sure to get over to Sean and his team. And Sean, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. And thank you everyone else out there for joining us today too. Hope to see you next time.
All right. You have a great day. See you later.